Yo, what's going on, guys? Today in this video I'm going to be doing a beginner's guide to TDS and explain the different towers, loadouts, and consumables and all the other stuff in this game that you might not understand off rip of playing, and just sort of give some pointers and give some clarification to what certain things are and what paths you should probably take and not which paths not to take. So yeah, I'm going to start with the towers and then just go through everything that I think is important to know at the beginning of the game and see what's up. So yeah, let's go right into it. The first thing we're going to talk about today are the towers, obviously. Towers are the core functions of tower defense games, and in this game it's no different. There are 5 categories of towers ranging from starter, intermediate, advanced, hardcore, and exclusive. Now, hardcore towers are late game towers that are purchased with gems, not coins, and you need to be at least level 50 to even unlock them. And exclusive towers are towers that came out during past events that probably won't come back out for free, and now if you want to get them, you're going to have to spend Robux to buy them. Because of those two factors, we really aren't going to get into them too much today and mainly focus on all the other levels of towers in this game. Now, when it comes to towers, the most important thing to keep in mind isn't what categories the towers are in, and more what role does the tower play. There are 4 major roles a tower can play in this game, and knowing that is very important to making good loadouts and progressing in this game quickly. 4 major roles in Tower Defense Simulator are going to be DPS, support, stall, and money making. DPS towers are the foundation of this game. Without them, you aren't ever going to win anything. DPS towers' main job is to do as much damage as possible as quickly as possible. There are different types of DPS towers such as long range, melee, spawners, AoEs, and direct damage. Next are support towers. Support towers are critical in a lot of cases and make a lot of hard maps much easier. They're like the backbone if you want to think about it, and can make a lot of tough situations just way less stressful and a lot more straightforward. The major support types are going to be anti-stun, damage boost, fire rate boost, and price reduction in this game. Now let's talk about the last 2 roles of towers, those being stall and money making. Stall towers are great for slowing down enemies and keeping them in one area longer, so more towers can keep hitting them without them going out of range quickly. This allows you to just get more DPS in on whatever it is that's being slowed down and kill it quicker so you can move on faster. And last but not least, money making towers. Money making towers are super important in this game, and they are also super important in higher difficulty game modes or maps, allowing you to get certain towers and upgrades way sooner than you otherwise would be able to. Now, even though I did say there were only 4 major roles in this game, there's actually a 5th role called the hybrid role. Some towers perform 2 different tasks at once, such as Cowboy being a DPS and money making, Mercenary Base being a DPS and support, Warden being a DPS and stall, and so on and so forth. These can be very useful since there is a limit to how many towers that you personally can bring into a level, and sometimes bringing these hybrid towers can save you a slot to get 2 different jobs done in one. Now that I covered, we can get into making a loadout. I'm going to show 3 starting loadouts that I think would cover a lot of areas and be useful even if you're under leveled without that many towers to work with in higher difficulty game modes, and you can still hold your own. These different loadouts are going to slowly go up in price from one to the other, the first loadout being the newbie one and the last one being a more intermediate one. First loadout I'm going to recommend is going to be Soldier, Sniper, Demo Man, and Freezer, costing a total of 1,200 coins overall. The reason I'm recommending these is because Soldier is just an all-around good beginner tower that later on in the game can get an upgrade, being the Golden Soldier. That is just a fantastic starting game tower. Sniper is because you get it free at the very beginning. You have Scout and Sniper. Sniper is just a nice little bonus just to have, just in case. Demo Man is a amazing beginning AoE tower that you can get. You also get it free when you do the tutorial, kind of free. It's still 200 gold, but you get my point. Freezer is an all-around great stall. It's used in late game, mid game, and early game, on top of including in the overall game. You can use it in a lot of different game modes and a lot of different strategies, and it is also one of the only stall towers that is able to freeze that you can get in the base game without spending Robux to unlock, being like event towers and limited towers and all that stuff. Freezer is a great tower because of that, to invest in early so you can have it in the long run. So that's why I do suggest Soldier and Freezer in this first loadout. The next loadout you should try to get is Ace, Freezer, Farm, and Soldier, costing a total of 4,500 or 3,500 if you get the Soldier and Freezer from the last loadout. The reason I'm recommending this is because Ace is an amazing tower. It has high DPS, it has anti-stun abilities, you can have a good amount of them, you can use them in fallen mode, you can use them in a lot of different game modes, and they're just a good tower. You really can't complain when someone brings Ace because it's a great tower to use in Battlelands, a great tower to use in fallen mode. It can hit air units, hidden units, it can just do a lot. If you're new to this game and you're trying to play those harder difficulties with either randoms or with friends, you don't exactly want to be like the anchor of the group. Ace can actually hold its own, and that's why I'm recommending it as a cheap early game, like late game tower. Freezer, once again, like I previously mentioned, great stall, one of the only ones you can get to freeze without spending Robux, and yeah, overall good tower. Farm, in my opinion, is the best tower you can invest in this game. It is needed for things like Polluted Wasteland, things like Battlelands, and other games like that. Farm is a necessary tower to have at some point, and the sooner you get it, the better off it is. But if you do not have towers that are good enough to invest money into during a game, there is no point of having a farm. So I do suggest getting Ace before you buy Farm, but Farm is a great second tower to go for if you're wanting to purchase some. Soldier, of course, it's a amazing tower to place at the beginning of a game, and it can go into the mid game of a typical game until you can fully afford all your aces in the mid and late game. Last but not least, and definitely the most expensive loadout out of all of them, is going to be Farm, Military Base, Ace, and either Medic or Electroshocker. This can be either 9.5k in total if you go Medic, or you can go 10k with Electroshocker. The reason why I chose these towers is because Farm, like I said, is hands down the best investment you can go into. Ace, great starting tower that you will already have if you did follow my prior suggestions. And then Military Base, being it is an amazing tower at the end of the day. It is always a great tower. It is never a bad choice to bring a military base. If you are struggling, bring a military base. Military bases are just insanely overpowered in a lot of instances, and has actually allowed me to win hardcore matches, limited time game modes, and harder challenges. My only caveat is spawners in general, but military base is a spawner. So spawners in general are really bad at multi-path maps. So if you're going to play something like Abyss, I think is what it's called, or Battlelands, or any map that has multiple tracks, you should not bring a military base or a spawner, because they just underperform. The DPS is split up amongst the tracks. They're not good. But don't really worry about that, because when you're first starting the game, you shouldn't really be even playing those game modes. The reason I'm saying Medic or Electroshocker is because if you want to continue stalling and you want to get a better stall, you can go Electroshocker. Electroshocker can shoot air units, it can stall units pretty good, and it does decent damage as well. It is really good for Fallen mode and some other game modes as well. Electroshocker is just an all-around great stall. And then Medic, which is, I'm pretty sure, cheaper than Electroshocker, is one of the best support towers that you can buy in this game. It has an ability to basically passively heal you after every round if you do take damage. On top of, you get an ability that when you use it, any tower in the medic's range is no longer stunned. So like when the boss or something smashes the ground and all your towers have that like effect above them and none of them are shooting, the medic will wipe away that ability. The medic cannot be stunned, and nothing will be stunned around it. So if you want to go the more active player route to use your abilities, I suggest Medic. If you want to continue stunning and you don't really want to pay attention to the game, I suggest going Electroshocker. And obviously, I'm only suggesting 4 units at this time, because when you're new to this game, you don't unlock your 5th slot until level 15. Of course, yes, probably once you're affording the military base and once you're affording that 3rd loadout I recommended, you will have your 5th slot. And honestly, at that point, put a tower in that you just like. The 4 core towers are already good enough. If you want to save up a little and put money into a minigunner, or put money into a commander or a ranger or something like that, you can go ahead and do that. Or you can just start saving up for that 5th tower in the advanced category. If you want a recommendation for your 5th slot, and if you want to save up for an advanced tower, and you're wanting just a sort of pointer of which route you should go, it's really up to how your playstyle is. If you want to be a support character, I suggest commander or DJ booth. If you want to be a more damage direct oriented or like high DPS, I suggest either minigunner or ranger. And then if you want to deal with swarms of enemies, so you're not being overran by hundreds of enemies on the field at once, I suggest going for the mortar tower. Next thing I want to briefly cover are consumables. Consumables are temporary effects that you can use in a match to help you or your teammates win the round quicker and just support y'all in winning the round in total. There are a lot of different consumables that you can use and bring into a match. I highly recommend just going through quickly and reading them to see which one is best for you or best for your team. Some ones that I just recommend that are good, that are never bad choices to bring, are damage flags, cooldown flags, supply drops, and barrier or barricades. The reason I suggest those is because they're just all around good. Supply drop, extra money, damage flag, and cooldown flags. If you're about to lose, you drop those down and they will increase everything. You can just kill things faster and hopefully not die. And barriers or barricades, I recommend, because at the very beginning of the game, if you bring a barricade with 200 health, if you place it right at the start, like at the very entrance of where enemies are coming from, everybody in the map can start farming, and they can farm for a few rounds while these barricades are keeping them alive, and nobody has to spend money on placing down towers early on in the game, allowing all y'all to get better defenses quicker. And quick little note before we move on, I don't suggest using your legendary consumables just willy-nilly. I do suggest you save them for moments that you need them, like if you're playing a game mode that you can't exactly win, or this boss just has this much health left, yada yada yada. I suggest you save them for those experiments or those experiences, and not just use them whenever. I personally just like collecting mine. I will use my nukes as jokes sometimes, but you get my point. Don't just throw them on a random molten match. Throw them at like a polluted wasteland boss when it has less than like 300,000 health and it's about to walk in. Like do something like that. Now onto the skill tree. The skill tree is relatively new and I haven't messed around with it a lot, but it can severely impact how your game is played and making the game a lot easier in a lot of ways. There are 4 major branches to the skill tree, being the money, the health, the kind of support, and the DPS. If you go top left in that direction, you're going to get the money route. So you get more return on selling towers, you get starting cash increase, you get a stonk increase, which increases just rewards per wave, and then you get scavenger, which means you get more money per enemy killed. Then if you go top right, you get the like fortify, overheal, bandages, all this stuff. So bandages, for example, it's like if you have a healer, or if you have like a medic but you didn't bring a medic, so you get passive regeneration of health, overheal. So instead of you having like the base whatever, like let's say it's 100 health, now you get an additional 80, stuff like that. Fortify, increase the player's health pool by 50, group, yeah. So you get the point. Top right is more health, all that type of stuff. Obviously all my stuff is relatively low level. I have it just like this so I can show you everything, because I personally don't think some of these are useful, sort of like this whole top right branch. But anyways, this bottom right branch thing kind of has like the accelerator, the scholar, the expanded barracks, all that type of stuff. The accelerator will be the first thing that you unlock, and once you upgrade it, I'm pretty sure like these 3 unlock, and then from there you can sort of figure out the direction that they go in. But anyways, you have accelerator, which reduces cooldown time for abilities, pretty useful for healers, commanders, DJs, all that type of stuff. Scholar, so this is probably the most useless one. You should not really dump anything into it. It just gives you more books that drop on the ground, which are only really useful for the sandbox game mode, so just don't even worry about that. Expanded barracks make your spawners respawn quicker, so like how I recommended the military base, so this would be really good to pair with that. So if you do eventually want to go a route, this would be a good route to go. Reinforcements increase your total number of units you can have down. Instead of 40, you can have more than that. Instead of 20, you can have more than that. You get the point. And then bottom left, of course, is the DPS one, so enhanced optics. You get increased tower range, improved gunpowder, AoE explosives, yeah. Precision, every 25 enemy shot, towers deal a critical hit. And then fight dirty, debuffs applied to enemies last longer. So there's not a lot of stuff in here, but it is very useful and can definitely make your games a lot more interesting and a lot less headache inducing. So I wouldn't suggest dumping a bunch of gold into this right off the bat. I do suggest buying towers before you do this, and whatever towers you're going for, invest into the skill tree with that in mind, so you can get the most out of your money, your coins invested. The last thing I'm going to go over today are going to be the actual effects of the towers. So what I mean by effects are the hiddens, the leads, the flyings, and all that type of stuff. So those are basically just effects that your towers can hit or that enemies will have, and are indicated by these symbols right here. So hidden is indicated by an eyeball, lead is indicated by an eye beam, flying is indicated by some wings, and then stun immune is indicated by this like little lightning bolt with the cross through it. What all these mean are basically just hiddens are something that are kind of invisible, and you need hidden detection to actually be able to see it. Flying means like ground troops or regular troops without flying detection cannot hit them, and then you need something with flying detection to actually hit them. Leads are like metal that need to be stripped away before you can actually cause damage. And then shields as well are the same principle, that you need to strip away shields before you can actually do damage to the health bar. So there's all these different effects that are at play at all times, and you gotta like pay attention to what towers can actually hit certain things and what towers can't. But on top of that, there are certain towers that are able to do certain things that don't list it. For example, the Ranger and the Mortar are both stun immune because they're on these upper platforms, but they aren't listed as stun immune towers, even though they are. Then the Pursuit and the Ace Pilot, yes, they are listed as stun immune because they are flying, so they also get that immunity. But the Ace, for example, does not have lead on it, even though it can hit lead because it actually shoots a rocket that is able to break up lead enemies. Military Base is another one of these towers because Military Base actually doesn't list anything, even though it can hit literally everything in the game. So you gotta watch out for that because certain towers just do not list what they're actually able to hit, and it is kind of annoying that it doesn't explain that better, but it is something to keep in mind. Another thing to know are the effects that towers are able to give off in their AoE effect. For example, how the DJ, when you max it out, there's these 3 different tracks, purple, green, and red. Purple giving a range boost, green a money boost, and red a damage boost. When you max out a DJ booth, all 3 of the effects are always going on. The one you have selected is the most potent and is the biggest one, and then the other ones are just kind of there, just off to the side. For example, if you watch this building right here, it says 5% discount, 7.5 damage, 25% range. If I switch to the red track, it goes 10% range, 5% discount, 20% damage. So that is a big difference, and that's sort of like how the DJ booth works, and anything in this range is affected by that. Same thing with the Mercenary Base. The Mercenary Base gives off a damage boost to the units around it. Like these guys over here get the 15% boost from the Mercenary Base. And yes, these effects do stack. So the damage boost from the DJ and the damage boost from the Mercenary Base will stack together onto a unit. And I'm pretty sure the Ace is also another tower that has a AoE effect, which gives hidden detection to nearby towers in its range of flight. Another one that has a AoE effect is Rangers. I'm pretty sure this orange circle actually gives a damage boost to the towers on the ground, or a range boost. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but I know it also does give a boost. The last thing you got to pay attention to are modifiers. Modifiers are going to be in the bottom right or bottom left corner of your screen. They're going to tell you what's going on in the match, what boosts do you have, what like disadvantages advantages or debuffs do you have going on in the match. Very important to know what towers to bring into a match and to know what is going on in said match that is happening. That is going to be the end of the video though. Thank you all for watching. I hope this did explain a little bit and help you progress further a little quicker and puts you on a good path to go down. My biggest tips, other than everything I just mentioned, is going to be play in groups. People, quads are easier than solo is, and if you're struggling that much, just join the Discord and the TDS Discord, and you can find parties in there or strategies in there and some good people. That's where I found some hardcore people at, and it's a good community. I highly recommend just joining the Discord if you are struggling that much on a solo playthrough. And this is a team game, so you should have a team. Trust me, it just makes life a lot easier. But yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all have any suggestions for any other video ideas for me to make, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I would love to hear them. I do want to kind of get back into YouTube. I did take a huge hiatus from it, and any ideas would be greatly appreciated, either for TDS videos or for other Roblox games if you want to recommend. Drop them in the comments and I can make videos on them. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great day, and see y'all later. Bye.